An excellent day for an exorcism.
Welcome to Just Another Horror Podcast.
I'm John.
Fuck capitalism!
I'm Lindsay, trying to write horror novels because I was a weird kid.
The whole world is your urinal.
Fuck the prime time, bitch!
Well, hey there! Welcome to Just Another Horror Podcast. I'm John.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm M.
Alright. And this week we will be reviewing Suspiria 2018. And probably talking a little bit about how it compares with the other one, but it really kind of doesn't. Someone else talk! Talk! Fill the silence!
You can always edit it out.
Yeah, you're right.
Susie Banyan is a young American ballerina who travels to Berlin to study dancing at Madame Blanc's Marcos Tanz Company, one of the world's most renowned schools. On her first day, one of the students who had been recently expelled from the school is murdered. As this appalling happening does not seem to be an isolated occurrence, the brilliant new student soon begins to suspect that the school might be involved in the homicide. Her mistrust heightens when Sarah, one of the girls at the school, tells her that before she was killed, Pat confided to her that she knew and guarded a terrifying secret.
Is that right?
I don't know. That's what it says.
Whoever wrote that, that's wrong.
Sorry, Domingo Alvarez, you are not right.
Wait, what's wrong with it? I'm sorry.
I don't think at any point Susie cares that the place has witches in it. Like, and
Yeah,
there's
she
a
doesn't
reason
seem too
for that.
concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
So, nope. That plot summary is garbage.
Like, the very first differences that I saw, well, first of all, the coloring.
Yes.
Yeah, very draft.
Muted
Right.
colors,
Mhm.
total different atmosphere.
And they say they did that on purpose, but I forget why. Also, the main character, Susie, in the first movie, she talks about how her aunt was a benefit, like, donated
Yes.
to something and da-da-da-da. And Susie in the second movie is poor, I'm guessing, very, like, from an
Was it
abusive
Mennonite?
home.
Mennonites,
Family.
that's right. Yep.
Mennonite abusive home, which they kind of mixed up their Mennonite and Amish, and I only know that because I lived in Lancaster County.
Yeah.
But, because I couldn't figure out if she was Mennonite or Amish until I saw that she had the notebook that said Mennonite Church or something like that.
Right.
So those
Yeah,
are the first
living
things
where we do here in Pennsylvania, like, we know
Yeah.
more about that than most people that would be watching the movie, probably.
Yeah.
So, this movie is split into 6 acts. Acts. Professional podcaster over here. So, we meet you're gonna have to do it again.
Patrizia.
Early in this movie, but she's going to meet with Patrizia, goes to Dr.
Which, they just call her Patricia, and that's one.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
She goes to the doctor to talk about, she thinks there's witches at the school. She just says it right out the gate. And she's humming a song to herself and obviously going crazy, but the doctor's like, he just chalks it up to simulacrum, which is something I talked about during the Videodrome episode. Simulacrum is not being able to distinguish between reality and TV or reality and fiction. Like, it melts and becomes the same thing. So that's what he thinks is going on. But when she disappears, he's like, oh, I better take an interest in this, I guess. That's kind of the last that we see of him for a while.
Why do you think they have Tilda Swinton playing him?
They have her playing
Three parts,
characters.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just to show how impressive she is as an actress, I don't know.
Maybe
why she needed
it's to limit the amount of male actors in the movie.
Huh. Never
'Cause
thought about that. Because it's all about the women in these movies.
Other
really.
than the cops that show up, I don't know what other male actors are in this at all. That's my guess. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But you could have gotten, other female actors to
Right.
play the men parts, but
She did a good job.
she rocked it. She was great in this movie.
And I
So-
mean, the makeup, you would never look at her as an old man and think that's Tilda Swinton. I mean, her
Right.
voice you can kind of tell, but visually.
At the
you have
end,
no
when
idea.
she's laying there, like, naked, like, that's an old dude laying there. They
Yeah.
did great with this
The
stuff.
makeup was
Uh-huh.
fantastic.
She did mention that Helena Marcos is dying,
Mm-hmm.
and that witches have been hiding out since the war in this academy, but that's the only information she gives.
Yeah, they brought a lot of historical, like, war stuff into it that didn't really...
That was unnecessary.
Yeah.
That's my
That's
biggest
what I thought, too.
gripe with this. They tried to tie in so many themes.
And if they wouldn't have done that, it wouldn't have had to be a 2.5-hour movie.
Right? You find
So
out what
I
that
agree
was.
that it was way too long.
Mhm.
Way too long. But I kind of liked that it was tying into other things.
But what did it have to do with anything?
Well,
No, you go.
I feel like the doctor's story was almost as important as Susie's story. Like that you were following him just as much as you were her, kind of.
He's very
So-
important at the very, very end when she talks to him. And establishing his backstory is important. What I'm confused about is the whole hostage situation and the RAF and what is any of this?
I read, and I don't know details, I don't remember details, but I read that there were all of these themes connected between the two stories, like kind of like motherhood and kind of like the national feeling of like guilt and that kind of thing, and that like they were just, there was an article I read that was tying the two stories together,
Okay.
like tying themes of the two.
So you found one, because I was digging all day.
I
to-
know.
Yeah, I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
think they related.
See, the one that I found when I was looking for it, that's when I found that article I told you guys about where the guy was like, fuck this movie, fuck every theme, fuck this, fuck that. I'm like, what the?
Did he really love the first one? Maybe it was
He
just...
did. He was
well,
like...
then I sort of understand. But I don't think it was so bad, though, that it
No!
would...
Like, he was being harsh as shit.
But did you know that that guy's girlfriend that he, like, sees at the end there is the original
That's,
Susie?
Jessica Harper. Yep.
Yeah.
Miss Tanner meets Susie there. Susie came on her own. She's been planning to go here since she was a kid. Before she even had an idea of what Berlin even meant or was.
Right, she just was obsessed with it as a
It
child.
was kind of like her destiny almost, or
Right,
like
yeah.
preordained.
She kept wanting to study Berlin, and they were like, no, we have to study America.
Right. So Madame Blanc wants her to try out at least. Can actually sense her dancing from a completely different area of the place. And she's in a mirrored room, which comes back later.
Yeah, that is the most memorable part to me.
Yeah. She does such a good job that she, they bring her in, which they planned to do in the first place. So they were acting like they didn't, but they totally were.
Right.
You got the job, buddy!
And ruined the whole podcast, John. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about because I didn't see Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah, be thankful.
You watched like 10 minutes of it.
I turned it off. It was that bad.
When they ask where she's from, she says Ohio. She doesn't say the USA because we are the only country on earth that says what state we're from and not what country we're from. For some reason I have fuck the patriarchy. I'm not sure what happened here.
I mean, that always relates, right?
Something about it being in West Berlin is why they drained it of its color. In the original movie, Patricia dies in the pane glass window. It's epic and crazy. In this one, she's just gone. There's some...
I like that.
Yeah. It's much better for you, yeah. But there's something about her protesting part of that. I don't know if it's the hostage situation or what, but they say she got blown up while she was out protesting it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the reason that they threw that in there, but then when they kept doing it, I'm like, oh, I guess not. I don't know what the point is. So the witches are voting on who's in charge, and this is the first time that you see that they talk telepathically. I need to find a clip of Cobra saying think talk, because that's what he used to call it, think talk. So I have what an amazing panning shot. That they pan
They do that several
all
times.
the way through the... Oh, it's amazing.
Well,
I thought
and
that was great.
they do several of the shots where it's just a real quick around the room and then zoom into one thing. I
did like the camera work.
They did some stuff from the 70s that nobody does anymore too, like quick zooms.
Yeah.
Or they did one where Susie was in the front and Madame Blanc was in the back, and they were
Oh, that
both...
was cool. I liked that.
Yeah, they were both there, but like everything else was just... Oh, it was cool. I loved it. They reveal that they sent Sarah to get Susie to come to this thing. They reveal that they were bringing her in the entire time. So, meanwhile, the doctor is going to East Berlin and sitting in a garden, and that's really all he does in Act 2. He just kind of sits down and relaxes where I think he met or left his...
It's the cottage
wife.
where he and his wife used to.
Yeah. Susie moves in. and Olga is looking to take the place of Patricia. Patricia's original thing was that she was going to be the vessel for Helena Marcos, because they voted on Helena Marcos keeping power and not giving it to Madame Blanc, which meant that whichever student they picked was going to be Helena Marcos now. So it's going to be, they're thinking about it being Olga, but Olga is like pissed off that I think Patricia was telling her shit. And she's like, Patricia didn't die, and you know what happened to her.
Right.
And they're like, get out. And she's like, witches. And they're like, oh, you're dead.
And Madame Blanc just seems to automatically have a feeling about Susie. Like, she knows that there's something there.
So Miss Tanner's even laughing at her as she's leaving, which is fucked up. Susie knows the dance already. She never danced it
video
before.
of it.
Yeah, and she'd been to, she's been following Madame Blanc around. Oh, man, when the reveal happens at the end of this, I'm so happy. Because it fits everything. Unlike the last movie, which was a mishmash of who knows what, this movie is so tightly woven. Susie knows the dance, so Madame Blanc, once she sees her start to do it, is like, okay, I'm going to put a spell on you, and you're going to kill Olga. And that's the most gruesome.
Yeah.
Which kill is more memorable, this one or the one in part? The first one, where the girl falls through the...
They're just so incredibly different from each other. It's hard to compare.
Right, but they're what I'm saying is they're two of the most intense death scenes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And this one I like more.
Really?
Because I don't feel like this is voyeuristic or for sadistic reasons.
There's a connection behind it.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, there's no connection.
Right. And she doesn't die here either. I don't know why I'm saying death, because she doesn't die.
Yeah, she's just all...
She's mangled all to hell.
Yeah.
Wow. The first bone I heard crack.
You hit 15
seconds. But I did catch what was going on.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to watch it.
It takes a long time. So this is when we see one of the flashbacks where Susie's saying she wants to go to Berlin, and her family's like, you can't do that. And then we get some meat hook action.
Meat hook action?
When they're dragging her out of the...
Oh, okay, yeah.
They put hooks in
Well,
her.
and you also see that Susie had an abusive childhood.
Right. She's in the closet. Her mom came in there and burned her hand with a fucking iron.
Oh.
So I was starting to wonder, because Susie was talking to Madame Blanc, and I changed my mind after thinking about it, but my first thought was when she's like, how did it feel? How did it feel inside? I'm like, Madame Blanc she wishes that she was the one that got voted to get inside of her, I think.
And that's where she said it felt like what she would imagine fucking someone would
I
feel
was
like. She's like,
animals.
oh, like a man? No, I was thinking more of like an animal.
She said that, and I was like, okay, the girl's out of Ohio now.
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere. But she did seem to, starting with that dance, she seemed to come out of her.
Right, yeah.
Like, she's starting to kind of come alive, so to speak.
She's super talented and super confident. And
Dakota Johnson. Dakota Johnson took 2 years of ballet lessons to do that. Which, why would you take ballet lessons when it's modern dance? But I don't know, whatever.
Right, yeah, it was supposed to be ballet, but it didn't look like ballet. It was more like interpretive, modern dance kind of stuff.
Who was the actress from Black Swan?
Natalie Portman?
She originally wanted to remake this. And she was going to do the dancing for it and fund it and everything, but that idea got scrapped.
I would have liked that. I like Natalie Portman.
I think Dakota Johnson does good.
She did
here.
a really good job, yeah. I also read that this movie affected her so much she had to take therapy afterwards.
I would believe that.
Oh, yeah. I'm really confused here because Madame Blanc does some weird thing where she moves her hand down behind Susie and says, thank you for getting rid of the other girl.
Yeah.
Is she freezing her, hypnotizing her? Because why would Susie not be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't remember her saying that specifically.
She goes, thanks to you. And I don't know what that was supposed to mean, but Susie does it to her at the end of the movie, after the credits.
She wasn't saying, like, thanks to you, we have somebody to dance that part now?
No, thanks to you, we
that's
got
how
rid of
Susie-
Olga.
That's how Susie would have taken it, was that...
That could be. But she
Yeah.
says, that other girl is gone. Thanks to you for that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Weird.
she just took it as, like, that she was so good that she's gonna be the
Yeah, they
person
have
to
her
dance it
replace
now.
her.
Yeah.
Act 3. Cops want to know what's up with Patricia. And they're sneaking around looking... Oh, while they're talking to Madame Blanc and Miss Tanner, Susie and Sarah are sneaking around kind of like kids almost. And
Yeah.
it has a little bit of the feel of the old one, because I'm like, what are they looking for?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they go into the office to find the files for the 2 girls who are missing now. And you'll appreciate this, no one keeps paper files anymore.
Was this supposed to take place in modern times?
No,
77.
70s.
So I mean,
Because
it
of the
still
clothes.
could've- Yeah.
I loved the clothes. The clogs and the culottes. I loved it. That was
So they
totally-
would have had paper files back
Yeah,
then.
I was
Oh,
wrong.
yeah.
It took place in 1977 because I think that's when the
Original
movie
yeah.
was made. So, oh man, I wish my notes didn't say things like, what the fuck, no fucking hell. While Sarah is looking around, Susie sneaks out and sees them playing with one of those meat hooks on a dude's penis.
Yeah, that was weird.
That explains what that is. Okay.
I mean, that just shows them that they can put people in trances and
Yeah.
kind of do whatever they want.
And once again, we get a flaccid penis and not an erect penis, and I am upset.
I know how much you hate floppy penises.
I do. And it's always a fat dude. It's always a fat dude.
I
and his
know.
fucking
Imagine-
tiny, flaccid ass penis.
Imagine being a woman. You never get anything.
Ah. So now we're supposed to do an improvised dance. They're going to do one about rebirth. And so Dakota Johnson's just writhing around on the floor, basically.
Yeah.
And,
I think she is sexually awakening.
That could be. That
Yeah.
might be what it is. And meanwhile, Marcos is... I thought this was funny, because at first I thought it was creepy that Marcos was down there, like, reaching up.
Yeah.
But, like, immediately... Miss Tanner's like, you put her in a cabinet under the floor?
See, I thought that she was sensing that down below her, and that's why she was...
She did.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
She said, did you feel that? And then she was like, there. And her friend was like, what? What the oh, and then she's like, oh, you talk like Patricia. Madame Blanc is arguing this still. She's like, I think I should be the one that keeps going. And they're like, hey, Marcos won the vote, man. That's how it's going to be. And up until the very end, I was convinced that Blanc was going to change it or make it so that she was in there or something.
Yeah.
Oh, they're deciding on who a witness should be. And they decide on the doctor. I don't know why.
Well, wait. Before that, who's the girl that stabs herself in the neck?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that later? 'Cause
That's also Tilda Swinton, isn't it?
Ha ha ha, she stabbed
Was
herself. Ha 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 ha.
Oh my god.
That's a page away.
She's one of the witches, right?
Yeah, she doesn't say anything.
She never
when
talks.
When they have the vote, she does not vote. So I don't know if she knows something is up. Maybe?
But is that Tilda Swinton also?
No.
She
Are
seemed
you
like she
sure?
had...
Positive.
She had something weird going on with herself mentally, right? Or I don't know what was going on.
She was just the way she acted. She was apprehensive.
She didn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And
She didn't vote. She abstained from voting.
whatever was going on, she didn't agree with it. But she was too, I don't know what, to say anything or...
I think she had an inkling of what was going on. I think she knew what Susie was. So she's like, I'm not going to even get involved in this shit. I'm done. So
you think that she decided to just do that herself? Nobody, put a spell on her to make herself kill herself like that in front of everyone?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So, but we're ahead of ourselves. Because first,
Oh, sorry.
Madame Blanc, part of this, they're grooming her.
Grooming her,
Okay.
yeah.
And part of it is teaching her to dance, but the other part is sending her all these fucking nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
She says dreams, but fuck that shit. It's like
Nightmares, yeah.
art house shit. It's scary. So she has a couple of those where there's just people bleeding and ugh. And now we're on to Act 4. The doctor has decided to go to the police and be like, I think there's something going on at this dance studio. And they're basically like, yeah, no, we went there. There was nothing there. We're not going to look again. I have, again, Blank is sabotaging it on purpose, but she's not.
I feel like she's being cautious
Mm-hmm.
because of what's happened with 2 other girls now.
Right.
She
You know what I
actually, I
mean?
think, is getting an attachment to Susie, too.
Mhm.
Yes.
She
Yeah.
knows that this is bad for her, so she's trying to convince her not to do it. And Blanc is, so they're trying to do a jump, and she isn't getting the jumps right. So they bring in another girl to do the jumps, and she's fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, boom, seizure, and that girl falls over, and her jumping magical powers like Mega Man go over to Susie.
Mega Man.
Yeah, like Mega Man kills the enemy, gets their powers.
Oh, that's what Mega Man does?
Yeah. Yep.
Why is he called Mega Man?
The game makes no fucking sense.
Oh, it's a game?
Yeah, it's a game.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know what this is.
Alright, moving on.
I don't know any superheroes.
Video game, it's not a superhero. How dare you!
Mega Man?
Sounds like a superhero.
I don't know that this girl who has a seizure dies, but she's gone. So, and again, I think that Susie sees this and doesn't do anything or react or anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're hinting to the audience, but
Right.
I
still didn't see.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm invested in my own separate story that I think is going on. So, Sarah doesn't buy the witch story. The doctor talks to her and is like, I think you might got some that's how he says it. I think you might got some witches. And Sarah says, that's not proper English, sir. Sarah's not buying it.
Right, so we pick up on Sarah
Mm-hmm.
about, an hour and 15 minutes into this movie is where she is at the beginning of the old movie.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right?
She's now worried about this witch because that doctor told her there's probably witches. So
Right.
she's following the steps that I think Patricia told her about because she's counting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's counting backwards, but it's tense because of the other movie. You're like,
Right.
oh no, she's in trouble.
Yeah.
But in this one, she finds a ritual of some sort, and so she just grabs one of those meat hooks and takes off and goes and talks to the doctor. So the doctor has a journal about the three mothers, who are Mother Suspiriorum, Mother Lacrimarum, who is the Lady of Tears. Suspiriorum is the Lady of Sighs. And Mother Tenebrarum is the Lady of Darkness.
Hey, Dario Argento had that Tenebra or something movie.
That's
Does
the,
that have
that's
a
the
relation?
one where he's like, I'm not a sexist. That's what that is. So,
is that a relation though to that?
no, I thought it was too, but it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's the name of a book that the author in the movie writes where he's killing women, and then all the women in the movie get killed in the same way, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
And actually, it just occurred to me that Suspirium, the whole size, or the original poem, what's it called?
It is called Suspiria de Pro...
Let me see.
Good luck. Profoundus?
I can't read your
I
handwriting.
can't read it either.
Anyway, that means like deep breaths or deep sighs.
Yeah, I have Suspiria means to sigh, sighed, or whispered, which is why I like in the original where they're whispering like witch.
Yeah, and in the
stuff.
story you hear people just saying things, but you can't make out what they're saying. Yeah.
But in this one, and it's just occurring to me now, but when they're dancing, you can hear them like breathing and putting like that kind of effort into the dancing and that kind of thing. So that's just kind of occurring to me.
The lyrics to the opening song,
What were the lyrics?
they were about the body being just like a vessel.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was like giving away the plot, yeah.
Oh, I did want to say though, like Tom York did the music for this, and it was really good.
Yeah.
This is a waltz thinking about our body.
It's not what
It's
the
not,
other one is.
not
but
at all.
I
Like
really like the music in this one.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
like
It's
it.
good.
I mean, I like Radiohead, and I liked it, but it didn't stand out like the music in the first one.
I think it was supposed to be more, just like everything
yeah.
in this movie is supposed to be
Right, it's
more
basically
muted.
like the antithesis of the other movie in a
Right.
lot of ways. But, and I could see how somebody might prefer this music, but I still do prefer the first one. But
Same, yeah.
There's a quote, I forget, it's when the doctor is either talking to the cops or talking to Sarah, I can't remember, but he says, you can give someone your delusion and that's religion.
That's the girl. He's talking to the girl.
When he's talking to Sarah.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
So,
because that's what he talks about with Patricia, that she took her delusions and turned it into what she thought was reality. And
Right.
what was the name of this dance? Did anybody write it down?
Volk.
I don't know.
Do you know what it means?
It's German for
People.
yes.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, like folk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So they draw an obvious, like, star thing on the floor. And
Yeah.
what I'm thinking is going on here is that they've figured out how to get these dancers to move on this very specific thing, almost like a Ouija board or something.
Yeah.
Where if they do it exactly correctly, what are they doing? What are they doing? Are they trying to... They're not trying to get Susie possessed by her yet. What I thought they were doing here was trying to injure Sarah, which I was confused by.
But Sarah wasn't there for the actual performance yet.
Well, the reason I think that is because after Sarah breaks her leg, she finds out Patricia's still alive. She finds out Olga's alive, air quotes,
Yeah.
and is chasing her down the hall with no limbs. But the witches make holes appear in the floor. She steps in one and viciously breaks her leg.
Yeah.
They come around and
Fast forward.
Yeah, that one was actually short compared to everything
was,
else.
yeah.
But they heal her leg, and then they put her in a trance where her eyes
Yeah.
change color. She goes up and starts doing the dance. And then Susie gets distracted, which causes Sarah to fall over and convulse. And they get mad at Susie for not finishing,
Yeah.
which makes me think the dance was to injure Sarah.
Uh-huh.
So, in the summary, it says she breaks her leg trying to escape. Is found by the matrons who entranced her to join the performance upstairs. Due to Susie's interference, Sarah breaks out of her trance, screaming in pain at the end of the dance. What did Susie do?
She just lost concentration for a second. That's all it was.
That was it?
Yeah, she was doing her thing, and then she just kind of screwed up a little bit, and that broke the trance.
Okay.
Which I did not understand. I'm like, was that what the whole point of the dance was? Why are they practicing a dance to hurt one person?
And I mean, if they wanted her to be injured, she already was injured until they healed
her
her.
leg breaks, they heal it so she can go break it again.
Yeah.
I thought it was more maybe to bring Susie to her full...
That could be
Potential.
too. Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah.
Maybe they were trying to do too much with it. That could be what it was that caused her to kind of lose concentration a little bit. The doctor is very upset to see Sarah with her eyes all fucked up. Then he has some flashbacks. And that's all I have. That's helpful. Thanks, John. Then I have Susie is a witch. So at this point we know Susie is a witch. I think it's because she's having think talk with Madame Blanc.
Yeah.
And
Think talk.
yeah. And she pretty much makes it clear that the two of them like each other. And I almost feel like Madame Blanc is trying to be like a mother figure to her
Oh,
or
yeah,
something like
definitely.
that. So at that point I was really confused because I'm like, well, wait a minute. She doesn't want to get
Right.
in her. What does she want?
And I mean, she had really liked Madame Blanc. Like, it seemed like they were connecting and everything.
Mhm.
But that's before she knew what was happening to her, I think. Before she knew that she was going to be the mother.
Right. I feel like she just always had this kind of...
It was like her destiny,
She
kind of. But I don't know that
just-
she knew exactly why.
Exactly. I don't think so either.
So she's figuring it out as she's here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or Mother Suspirium is taking control of her more, maybe,
Yeah.
through the dance.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Probably the more Susie is allowing herself to, then the more it's probably
and maybe being around them helps it come forward
Right, yeah.
too. So Act 6, the doctor goes home and his wife Anka is alive. That's played by Jessica Harper, like
Yep,
you said,
original Susie.
and is saying that she left and ran to another town or something like
Yeah.
that instead of being killed in a concentration
Right.
camp. And the problem is that this doctor feels very bad because he could have got them out of there and didn't. And something I was reading today was talking about how men in Germany were being warned by several people that this is going to get bad, this is going to get real bad, and they would tell their wives they were delusional, just like he did to Patricia at the beginning of this movie.
Mhm.
And then because he ignored it, it got bad. that's the tie-in to like Nazi stuff, and I don't know. Take a warning, America. Just a thought.
Yeah.
Stuff doesn't happen overnight. Oh, but they walk, and they end up walking right to this dance studio, and Ankh is gone because it was a trick.
Yeah.
And I have these women are fucking mean. And there's also this supernatural light that's floating around everywhere. It looks like when you're starting to trip.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's the spirits of the witches or something. Look, 1 million naked people! Exclamation point.
Yeah, so I saw what was coming here and
Fast forwarded.
did not catch a lot of it. So,
Okay.
well, some of it was that the kids were coming and asking me questions, but so I missed some. But then when I saw what was coming, I hit fast forward a couple times, and then I saw a bunch of blood pouring down on Tilda Swinton, and I was like, yes, I did the right thing. And then I hit fast forward a couple more times. So the whole like ceremony and all that, I wasn't really a part of.
I liked that they had it all like tinted in red like the original at that part, because that was bringing back
I
some
did
of that.
see that it was like normal color, and then at one point like it all looked red.
Yeah.
Because I can see the little like still frames.
You know what it reminded me of? Hereditary. Only like to the nth degree. Like it was even crazy because they have to do more dances. So they have all of these dancers in trances and stuff.
Right.
Sarah comes out.
Dancers and trances.
Yeah. I'm glad you caught that. Thank
That's
you.
like a strip club name.
Yeah. So Sarah gets gutted and just is fine because now Sarah's been gutted and they have Patricia and Olga. They're all suffering greatly, but they need to, I guess, because everybody's got a piece of gut.
Right.
This is fucking insane.
Yeah, I'm okay with missing that.
So we finally see our first glimpse of Marcos, and she looks like shit. But she's got cool shades
Right.
for I don't know what reason.
Who is Tilda Swinton? Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
it is Tilda Swinton again.
She does a really good job with that.
Yeah. I love when she's arguing with herself. It's great shit.
Yeah.
Susie's coming down now, and meanwhile, the witness is the old doctor who they've thrown on the floor, and he's going on and on about, oh, everybody was guilty in Germany, and I'm like, shut up. So,
Oh, see, I wish I would have caught that.
there's a lot of like dialogue here between the beheadings and guttings and explosions of heads.
Because like I said, I actually really liked the doctor's story.
Mhm.
But anyway, go ahead.
Madame Blanc is like, are you sure you want to do this? Because she's like, you don't. She's like, you can leave. We can make this so you don't remember any of this stuff.
Yeah.
But then Marcos is getting tired of this shit
Mm-hmm.
and tries to decapitate Madame Blanc.
Right. And
Does-
Madame Blanc could tell, like, pretty soon, like, that something's not right here. Like,
She
we
didn't
should
know
stop
exactly
this.
what it was, but she knew something was wrong and didn't quite die.
Yeah.
I don't know how she didn't die, but she did not die. So she's sitting there with her head dangling, and then Susie reveals that she's Mother Suspiria, and now she's going to kill all of the people who voted for Marcos
Yeah.
and Marcos.
And then she's asking the girls, like, what do you wish for?
Dad,
I
please.
wish to die, please.
Please.
Yeah. They're all just
Yeah.
telling her they want to die.
So she does it very calmly with
Yeah.
them. She just touches them, they fall over. Other people pops their heads. She thinks back to who voted for who, gets in their thoughts, pops their heads one by one.
And
And
none of them voted for her because
Right.
she wasn't an
that's
option.
why
Yeah.
when I saw this, I'm like, who the fuck is Mother Suspiria? What the
Right.
hell is this? But I get it now. I got
Yeah.
it. So she also summons death.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is super cool.
Yeah.
It's like this weird creature demon thing walking around killing people. People's heads are exploding. There's still dances going on. Oh, this movie rules. This scene makes it so worth it. Oh, did you see that Helena Marcos had hands growing out of her elbows?
No, I missed that, actually. Did you see that?
I was like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, so
I need to rewatch this movie.
Death is also played by Susie's mom. Susie's mom is her mom and also Death.
Okay. She has to get rid of the thoughts of her mom, too, to
Yeah.
fully cross over.
Mhm.
And her mom says something like, I left a stain on the world, and it's my daughter.
Yeah, her
Yeah.
mother seemed terrible.
She's not like on her
Lady.
deathbed.
Yeah. It's like the last word she says.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Uh-huh.
And then basically everything goes back to normal because at one point they're cleaning up all the blood in the bodies. Like, that was a crazy night, wasn't it?
Well, this says in the midst of the bloody aftermath, Blanc is revealed to be alive.
Yes.
So did she live through the whole thing?
I guess so. I don't know how she lived through that. Her head was almost off.
So are she and Susie gonna start a new coven together?
I think so. I think what Mother Suspiria was doing was seeing that they were abusing their power and was punishing them for it. And she's like, that's not what we're here for. So she killed all the people who were in favor of doing that and brought everything back to the way it was.
Interesting.
So the old man goes home covered in blood. Everyone's covered in blood. They're all cleaning it all up. Mother Suspiriorum goes to the doctor's house and reveals to him what really happened to his wife, which is that she was in a concentration camp because she couldn't find her papers and died while doing a census in the cold, but was around other people.
Yeah, people that she had grown close to, so she didn't feel like she was alone in her death.
And she says, we need guilt and shame, but not yours. In other words, the people who abuse their power, we need them to feel the guilt and the shame, but not you.
No, because he's not really deserving of that.
So she takes all of the memories out of him, which is good.
Yeah.
So she's not all bad.
No.
Like at all, actually, I don't think.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. The post-credit scene is just her doing that weird thing to Madame Blanc. I don't know what that's about, but that's it.
I feel like that's a better ending than the first one.
I do too. Yeah, in the first one, she just is like, it's on fire! Got that, going home!
Yeah, I'm going! Let's go!
We started with you last time, so we'll start with you, Lindsay.
Okay. See, having loved the original so much, I found myself kind of like disappointed in this, especially like beginning it and having like everything that I loved about the original was not there with this one, but it was still a good movie and it had a lot of like good points. I mean, like the story was more fleshed out. It kind of explained things that the original did not explain. So if you think about the explanations in this movie, when you watch the old movie, it would kind of make certain things make more sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, the cinematography, it was good. The makeup was fantastic. Like Tilda Swinton playing an old man so believably. It was good. But yet, I still can't rate it as highly as I rate the original because I love the original. So I'm going to say 6.5.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Em?
Go ahead, John.
Me? Alright. I love this movie the second time around. The problem is it's so long. I just don't want to watch it all the time. But like
that's
the
one
other
of my
ones,
drawbacks there too. It's way too long. I think it could have been good with maybe...
Take that RAF stuff out or make it connect somehow. Make West Berlin connect somehow if you're going to have this studio literally next to the wall. Make any of that make sense to me. That made it too long because it's even if you took that out, it was slightly too long, I think.
Yeah.
But that stuff it didn't mean anything. And you don't need to overinflate your movie, I think. And I think he was trying to get a million different ideas in. But that's the negative stuff I have to say. The positive is I think the dancing is fucking intense and great and so good. I like the music in this. It's not the same as the other one, but I like it. The story is so tightly wound. I didn't like the effects at the end that much. I like the makeup effects and I like the death demon, but the heads exploding looked like shit. So, although I'm like, I want realistic head explosions. I don't know what the hell that would look like. So.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen a head explode? Maybe that's what it looks like.
So,
you don't know.
Yeah, it's true. So the acting is amazing. Tilda Swinton is amazing. I feel like it's one of those movies that God damn it, if it wasn't so long, it would be worth watching over and over and just checking out all these new ideas. Too long. So because of that, I'm going to give it an 8 instead of a 9. So it's just under the other one.
Okay.
Yeah?
So I'm subtracting a point or two for the length because it was just too long. I feel like this would be completely my kind of movie without the gore.
Sure, yeah.
And, like, I do agree with you that connecting the stories a little bit, like, I feel like there are connections, but it's maybe just a little bit too vague to make it super interesting. I'll give it a 6.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. For you, that's
but
great.
There are still parts that I cannot watch. I mean, like, you know what I mean? But, and, yeah, for 2.5 2.5 hours, like, I expect some kind of, like, sweeping, epic, like,
Right, yeah.
That's why that makeup, the effects on the head explosions let me down, though. Because for a finale,
Right.
to go to computer animation,
Yeah.
guys, come on. Everything else was practical, except that. So
I feel like it's almost hard to call it a remake because it is so different from the original. Like,
I like what
there's-
you said, though, is like you can push those two
Yeah,
movies together and
right.
suddenly the first one makes sense.
Right.
But that was the point of this whole exercise, right?
Right, yeah.
These are not the same movie at
No.
all. I mean, they have the same character names. They take place in a dance studio. One of them has dancing.
Right, yeah.
But that's it.
But then some of the ones we do will be a lot more similar. Like if
Carrie.
we're doing Carrie, which also I thought it was interesting. I didn't even realize that Chloe Grace Moretz was in this until we started watching it.
Just at the beginning,
in
yeah.
the remake of Carrie. She is Carrie. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Crazy. She's in another remake too.
Oh yeah, which one?
Let the Right One In and Let Me
right,
In.
yeah. Which I personally prefer the original to those ones, but I do like the
Is
remake
that all
as
she
well.
does is horror remakes?
Maybe so.
Oh man.
That's probably all I've seen her in.
Yeah.
I've heard her name a lot, but I've never seen her in any of her movies. I don't.
Yeah, so that would make sense because
Yeah.
you don't watch horror.
Yeah. She must only do
Other
horror.
than for this show.
Okay, if you want to get a hold of us, facebook.com/horrorcasting, horrorcastings@gmail.com. I don't know if at this point we're still on Twitter. Maybe.
Right.
I'm going to say mean things about Elon Musk and see what he has to say to us. I'm going to tweet for the first time in 4 years and then get booted. But if we're not
What's the
booted,
first thing you're gonna tweet?
you didn't invent anything, you liar. And he's going to be like, who the fuck is this guy? Spotify still, for now. Podbean, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please comment. By now, maybe you are, and you're like, why are you begging for comments?
At least you're not yelling at them this time. That might
Hey,
help.
fuck you.
Fucking comment already.
Yeah. I mean, studies show that yelling at your audience and telling them they're idiots
Yeah,
is a
let's
great way to bring
bully
them on
them into
board.
commenting.
Yeah.
Well, if we make them mad enough, then they will comment.
Right.
Oh, they'll have stuff to say, all right, yeah.
Thrill me.
God,